A federal judge ruled Google is a monopolist. That's after a lengthy legal battle between the company and the Justice Department in league with multiple state attorneys general. The judge went on to say Google acted as a monopolist to maintain its monopoly in the case about search engine and online advertising dominance. To help us understand this case and its repercussions, we speak with trial attorney Jeremy Rosenthal. He's a founding partner of Rosenthal, Calabas, and Therian. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy. What was this case about here?
Thank you. So when we talk about the Sherman Antitrust Act from 1890, this was the trust busting act that we all remember from school with Teddy Roosevelt busting Standard Oil, busting all those big businesses. The Justice Department has taken aim at big tech. They've taken aim at all of the big companies that you can think of, Meta, Apple, and they just got this really big ruling against Google. And basically they've decided, a federal judge has decided that Google is a monopolist, that they have essentially intentionally thwarted a lot of the competition. And for that, we don't know exactly what they're going to do to Google. But this is a monumentous ruling, really, for the Justice Department in this new round of trust busting crackdowns, the kind of which we may not have seen for a century.
And what evidence was presented by the prosecution to secure this ruling?
What was shown is essentially a lot of evidence about how Google would go about trying to secure the top spot, the default places, if you will, for a lot of these search engines. In other words, deals that they had made with Apple, deals that they had made with other providers, whereby Google was your main choice to do a search. And because of that, opened them up to a lot of advertising revenue, and essentially gave them, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of a 90% market share, which the court ultimately said that's just not reasonable competition. Bing had a 6% or so market share, and when your next biggest competitor is that non-competitive, the theory being that the consumer doesn't have a meaningful choice. And the ruling also says that, look, Google, you can't really say that you're the best at this. You're really the best at forcing your competitors out, and that's not the same thing.
Now, Google plans to appeal this decision. What could their argument be?
They're going to say, look, you're punishing competition here. You're punishing us for being the best. This is capitalism, isn't it? In a capitalist society, the best ideas, the best entrepreneurs win. But again, the Antitrust Act from the 1890s was essentially meant to take companies that had thwarted competition just through the sheer size or dominance that they have, because of just based on how dominant they are in the market, they can dictate the terms to the consumers, which in essence thwarts the very capitalism that we like. But they're going to argue, look, people use Google because we're the best, and we provide the best services. We provide the best search results. That's why consumers use us. You can click off. You can go to Bing whenever you want on any of these platforms. The default just happens to be Google. They're going to say that.
So you touched on this. You said you didn't exactly know what kind of consequences Google could face, but do we have any sense for the realm of possibilities?
It could be anywhere. It could be a financial penalty. And you remember that previously, before in throughout history, I mean, the Justice Department could ask a court to essentially break apart Google or parts of its divisions in the interest of competitive fairness. I don't know that it's going to necessarily come to that, but remember, we've got other companies that the Justice Department is going after. Again, they're going after Apple, they're going after Meta, and so they're all really paying attention here as to what happens to Google. But the judge has not decided what the remedy is as of this point. Could be financial, could be a prohibition against some of these other types of deals that they're making to guarantee that they're the default system. It could be somewhere in there.
And you've mentioned the other lawsuits against Meta, Apple, Amazon. You're kind of hinting at we could be seeing some kind of age of antitrust, busting up trusts like we did 100 years ago. Can you say a bit more about any trend that might be happening here?
I mean, the Justice Department's been going after these, and what's really concerning for these tech companies as well. People don't remember it was the Trump administration and his Justice Department that initiated these lawsuits, and then President Biden's Justice Department followed suit and really prosecuted these cases. So there is a bipartisan concerted effort at this point to try to make sure that these tech companies don't get too big. So when they're going after all these companies, you better believe they are all watching this one with a very close eye.
All right, Jeremy Rosenthal, trial attorney and founding partner of Rosenthal, Calabas, and Therian. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.